Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the very first JSB anime cast. I'm your host, Asher, and today I'm joined by who will be our consistent regulars. To my left, we have Jenny, aka Tiger Lily. We have Zen.
Music. That's the thing that anime can do is they turn everything into an anime. So like
Yep.
food, cooking became an anime, and you had villains
Yes.
in cooking somehow.
I watched it for the second time last year. I introduced it to a friend of mine's, and I died again watching it. But I can gladly die for a third time. I'm down for that.
That's what we do with anime. We ready ourselves to die.
We crawled before they could like run, and so we had a little bit more to deal with the like, I guess kind of more cringe stuff, the con stuff, the AMVs, all that jazz that's still going on. But when we were watching anime, it was a lot harder to get a hold of, right? That was like LimeWire era.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So many thrown away laptops with viruses. And the he fell asleep in the hotel room and I stayed up. And I happened to flip to a channel and I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is DBZ. Oh, I started watching it. I was just like, okay, so this is what they're talking about. Oh my gosh, I feel like I relate to my friends now. I come back to them super excited. And I'm like, yeah, it's Goku. He's got a monkey tail. And they're like, Jenny, that's Dragon Ball. And I just felt like I was caught all over again wearing like Bobo Adidas's.
Your Jordans are fake.
Having a good time. But also in that same era was like things like Shaman King.
Oh my god, Shaman King.
Honestly, like the idea of like my nickname being Zen and like my whole personality of like not worrying about things that you can't control comes from Yo.
You couldn't say certain words.
The word thing.
Yeah, the word game.
Yeah,
He's the first dungeon essentially.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
Kurama beats him.
Yeah, Kurama beats him by making him laugh. Exactly. And that like visual gag of seeing the entire alphabet and like, he's just starting to snicker, so you just hear a and you see the H highlighted. And when he starts busting out laughing and all the letters are getting highlighted and then his soul gets removed from the body.
Right.
And so, my first awakening had to be probably Yu Yu Hakusho. I found it was in Shonen Jump originally. It was one of those ones, Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, Knights of the Zodiac, a lot of good names that we're seeing now actually get shows. Shaman King was also a big one in that one too. So I didn't even know they actually had an anime, and that they're doing a remake now.
Yeah.
But the second awakening was Ouran Host Club for me. Or Sailor Moon, where you have a second secret identity, and then they came out with Hannah Montana. It was basically the same concept. Anyway,
Oh my God.
that was like the main
I
thing.
need that thesis.
Hearing it.
Incredible. I love that.
Sailor Moon is just Hannah Montana.
And so we're actually gonna start with Zen on this one.
Oh, thank
Whoa.
God.
Top four.
Oh, thank God!
Listen, I was about to pass the ball so hard.
I just had that moment of like being
Yep.
in elementary school and they're going in alphabetical order and Tran is at the end of the alphabet.
Dang!
I love that.
What sucked? So my last name also begins with a D. So it was like actually would have been last because it's Tubbs. So you would have got called.
I actually would have been first, but
Oh, true.
But
But you're the host.
But
so
I'm the host, so I'm never first.
You have the fun responsibility of just like passing it to others first.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have to say top four in no particular order because again these things can change.
Yep.
would be first off would be Chihayafuru.
Mhm.
Another anime on my list would be I'm currently rewatching Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay, FMA.
I'm rediscovering how much I love that show. We're going through both series. We're going through Full Metal Alchemist, the original, and then we're going to go through Brotherhood right afterwards.
Yes.
So we're wrapping up the original Full Metal Alchemist, and I know there are camps that will tell you like, forget the original, only watch Brotherhood, things like that. But I think there's a lot of good in the original show as well.
I do too.
Like a lot of the stuff around Scar and a lot of the stuff around Ishbal is really, really good. I immediately want to jump to like the default answer of like, Cowboy Bebop was up there. But that also is a really, really strong show, and it's one that I've rewatched several times.
Mhm.
Yeah. And the last one.
Yeah, what's our last one?
So Natsume Yujincho. Natsume and his Book of Friends.
What is
I
that?
don't know
I
if
actually haven't heard
either
of
of you
it.
haven't seen it. Okay. So
Oh
Natsume,
wait,
it's
Ninjincho?
Yujincho.
Oh, Yujincho. Okay.
Yujincho. Natsume and his Book of Friends.
Okay.
This one's a pretty long anime. I think there's like 6 seasons and like a movie.
Show's gonna last 3 weeks! 6 seasons and a movie!
Difficulty of making friends or opening myself up is necessarily a theme that I
Mhm.
necessarily draw to.
Mhm.
But just
Mhm.
what you're describing, it sounded a lot like the animation for, was it Ghost Stories? The anime that got redubbed with
Yeah.
like.
Oh god. I watch that dub once a year.
Is that the one with the
Hey, put the donuts down! Drop the Krispy Kreme, Serpico! We need your help
Did my
here!
house look like my father and my brother after 9 months or something?
Yeah, boogity diggity 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 diggity!
There's like
One
that
more
character
time,
who
Andrew.
freaks out.
Can I get that subtitled, please?
There's like a character that like
Closed
freaks
caption.
out, right? That just like he says a bunch of gobbledygook in the middle of like a police station or something. I'm gonna get the first one out of the way because I feel like we've already covered quite a lot of ground on it, and that's Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho is, ensemble casting, perfect. Dare I say a perfect dub? With some of the most like I don't know, just really really iconic voices voicing those characters. Kuwabara, it's Christopher Sabat, right?
I'm Kuwabara.
Christopher Sabat really knocked it out of the park those years with Kuwabara and Vegeta, so I feel like we said a good amount of Yu Yu Hakusho. I have a tendency to flip back and forth depending on just how I'm feeling for my favorite anime, my top one, between Yu Yu Hakusho and Madoka Magica. It wasn't until like I actually watched it the reason why they just couldn't say any more than that. Because to really give anything away from Madoka could like you risk the like integrity of it. You know what I'm saying? Because like all you can say is like I think you should watch Madoka. It's a magical girl anime. Like
That's really it. And I think we're at a point where like everybody knows Madoka. It's very hard to find someone that is not at least exposed to Madoka in some way. But when you do,
Yeah.
it is such a great feeling to like introduce it to somebody.
Yes.
Watch it!
My third. This one's strange because I haven't caught up with it yet, but we are fully planning to catch up to it. So from what I have seen of it, it's crazy that it's in my top 4. It's the first season of Made in Abyss. My last one is Eva.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Neon Genesis Evangelion. And that's my 4. So Jenny, were those answers to your liking? Did it give you like a good gauge as to whether or not you're like super different or super the same?
You chose some that I've did, and what else have you watched that those became your favorite ones? Like, they're Evangelion definitely surprised me.
Okay.
I I think we all have a darkness that we like in our anime too. So
Yeah.
I have some on my list that are pretty dark.
Yeah.
In fact, one of them I'm surprised it's considered a horror anime because I thought it was pretty fucking great.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, I don't know. I thought you'd like more of the lighthearted stuff, but then you said Madoka Magica, and I was like, I should have seen that one coming.
Okay, to be fair, I won't be surprised if I am the guy who is just like, because I eat up romance comedies. Absolutely devour them. I'm like on chapter 600 of like Tomo-chan is a girl. I'm all caught up with Yoncha Gal. I'm all caught up with My Charms Are Wasted on Medaka-kun. Yeah, like I have I have a little bit of a sweet tooth. So
Yeah, I was expecting one of those to be somewhere on your list, and I was like, I think I watched another one because of you posting it, and I was just like, God, this sucks. Why am I here?
Oh
Why
my
did
god.
I get here?
that's so funny. I love that. I love
I was
that.
waiting for one of those to show up. I mean, obviously, I could take a joke, right? Over on Host
Yeah.
Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so my four. I have to say your name. That one. It was my wedding theme for a reason. Just a really complex story that is unique, I think, to Japan. A lot of concepts
It
in
is.
there are unique to the culture that, and it's the first time I think I really experienced that level of or that type of spirituality in a modern sense. So your name, I'm gonna put that one down at the top. And then after that, it's gonna get kind of dark.
Hell, I love
Let's do
that.
it.
I love that.
Strap in.
So another one of my ones that I tell people to watch, it's it's the ones that are done short, 20-minute episodes. Death Parade.
Death.
Oh yes.
What is it? Death Grip?
Yes.
Death Parade. Death
Oh,
Parade.
Death
Parade.
Death Grip.
How do we get here?
Please.
I'm gonna put this one in here as on my top based on the kind of some that you guys have listed, but it came to mind as my favorite in this category, and it's Promised Neverland.
Okay.
Ooh, that's
So-
a good one.
I refuse to watch season 2. Let me just go ahead and
Understandable.
say that too, because I think it
Understandable.
left off on the perfect note at the end of season 1. And then I was kind of on the fence between two.
Okay.
So it was either for the fourth one, The Last Hero or Parasite.
Oh, it's
I
funny.
don't know The Last Hero. I love Parasite.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about The Last Hero.
Tell me about The Last
So-
Hero.
Yeah, unlikely hero kind of a story. It's an old man.
Mhm.
I think people often talk about Howl's Moving Castle being kind of unusual because it has an old female as like the main protagonist.
Yes.
Old.
Yeah.
But Last Hero is an old man who basically is super down on his life. He's been basically told he's like pretty pathetic, kind of useless at this point.
Mhm.
Accidentally gains superpowers.
Okay.
All right. It's an accident.
Accidentally gains superpowers. Is very confused on what he's supposed to do with them.
Yeah.
Now that he has them, and aims to do the whole time good. He's so wholesome. And he really tries to like encourage people to believe him when he says like, "Oh, please don't do that. Please stop. Like, I really don't. Please."
Uh-huh.
And then
Aw.
his superpowers take over essentially, and he can't do anything about it. So he just becomes like a badass accidentally every time. He doesn't, and he gains a nemesis who just is actually more commonly a hero. So that's kind of fun.
Oh, interesting.
Uh,
Love it.
Avatar. Is that an anime? Avatar: The Last Airbender?
So I'm unfortunately I don't feel what's it called? What's the word here? Educated enough to answer that,
Oh,
if
okay.
only because I've only watched book 1.
Okay. Okay.
And so I'm just like, I feel like I should have watched the whole thing and I should know the background of Avatar in order to like say whether or not it's an anime, because that I know that discourse can be like, especially like online, can be like a minefield.
Uh-huh.
And so like I intentionally avoid it because I don't feel like I
Well, I'm
would
like,
be.
for the purposes of this conversation, for
Yeah.
this podcast, essentially, like what I would say it is.
Uh-huh.
But it's almost like
I
that at that point, how do we define an anime?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know how you would define it per se, but like I always viewed it as an anime. Like when I think about Avatar, I'm like, yeah, that has the same feel and vibes as any other anime that I watch, right? Like it feels different than what I think about when I think about like American cartoons or Western cartoons, right?
Mhm.
There's just like a whole like we're telling this overarching story, like
Yeah.
we're getting like deep into the characters and relationships and stuff like that, and that's something that is very different than what I'm used to when it comes to like Western cartoons that are more like episodic, like usually comedies or something like that. That's not really going anywhere,
Mhm.
right? Um, so whenever anything kind of like tackles that I always kind of view it through the lens of like, oh, this is very much an anime,
Mhm.
right? That's where I land on it.
You heard it here, internet.
Uh-huh.
Avatar.
Absolutely.
Avatar is an anime. That for the end of the episode, we're gonna play really quickly. I'm very curious about this. A quick little game.
I like games.
And so, whenever what I want to do, I'm gonna do five anime for each of you. I'm going to say the title of an anime, and I want you to tell me the first word that comes to your head. And so I'm going to start with Rob.
Oh, great.
All right.
Okay.
So, just no thoughts. I don't want you to take time on this. I want the first word to come out of your head. All right. So, Attack on Titan.
Giants.
I Shield 21.
Football.
Perfect. Land of the Lustrous.
Gems.
Overlord.
Demons.
Tact Opt Destiny.
Tactical vests.
Okay. Let's go with Jenny. Ya boy Kong Ming.
What? Hentai.
Oh, this is getting good.
This is getting good. Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh. Eyeball.
Oh, that's a good one. Let's see. My Dress Up Darling.
Oh. Endearing.
Aww. Mob Psycho 100.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's 2 words. Crap. 100%. I mean.
Okay. I'll put the number 100%. I'll count that as one word. And Blue Period.
Exorcist.
I love that. All right. Shall we get to what our first anime is that we'll be watching? And that we'll be discussing for the next episode. That anime is Blue Lock.